Hey, have you got the Zoom logged in yet? Yeah, Chris Martin's not going to be there. He's sick. Right, right. She's got all that stuff. Yeah, and I've got the Kendra was going to be on Zoom, but her speaker is not working. So I've got the introduction to the speaker. So if we can get Zoom going, we'll be okay. I have no idea. I thought she was going to be in a room, but I don't have a clue. Yeah. Okay, not a problem. Well, you guys get the meeting set up. So there's only 4 of you there, huh? Okay. All right. All right. Okay. Bye-bye. They're trying to get it set up right now. Period. Everyone showed up late since I'm not there. Period. Hey, Jackie, I can hear you.
Oh, good morning. I'm going to put myself on mute.
Well, nobody, I'm not, I'm on Zoom. Everybody is at the meeting trying to get hurriedly set up.
Oh, are they? Okay.
So
I'm recovering from COVID, Gary.
am I. I just
Oh.
came off yesterday.
Oh, shoot. Isn't it awful?
Well, actually, I just had my typical cold symptoms that I have every winter.
Oh, well, that's good.
I had no fever. I had no taste or smell issues. Nothing.
Yeah, I didn't have any of that.
Just
I
a
had
runny nose and a cough.
Oh, that's good. That's very doable. I wish I could say the same.
Yeah.
But that's all right. I'm getting over it, so that's okay.
Yeah,
That's all that counts.
I think one of our other members, Chris Martin, has got it too. So we're not alone.
Who else has it?
Chris Martin.
Oh, really? Shoot.
And I think Kendra said she had it too.
Okay. Oh, I have a huge amount of people out from my office.
Yeah.
It's just rampant right now.
Yeah. My wife tested negative, so she's good. But
Good.
my 10-day period was up yesterday. Actually, it's up a couple days ago.
Uh-huh.
I got it from California, so.
Oh, yeah.
But I didn't have a problem getting tested. I mean, I had to wait 3 days to get into.
I didn't have any issues either. I've heard people having quite the nightmare stories getting tested.
Well, if you look at today's newspaper, it says Everett has got a long line.
Is that right? Gosh.
I hope they get this set up because I just talked to them a few minutes ago.
Okay. Is Rochelle even going to be on today? Nope.
They're up.
They're up.
No, I don't know if she's going to be on or not. We'll see.
Okay.
I see them on now.
Me too.
Well, I'll check the link because I was on there and I was talking to my daughter when I was on and then he submitted an email. But
I'm on.
I'll try that. Sometimes that works. I just click the link on.
Hey, Don, I can see you.
Yeah. Well, no, it's 7:29. You're almost late.
Yeah, we're almost late. Is that clock correct?
Yes, no, it's not.
Good, I got 4 minutes.
Is Chris not here today?
I'm doing the show today.
I haven't seen somebody else.
I mean, obviously.
Partying.
Anyway, Tatiana from the funding is coming and she'll have a PowerPoint.
Good.
So.
Okay, we got a plug ready for her, so.
Hi, Gary.
Hey, Tracy.
Sorry.
Is
So,
that Joyce with you?
Yeah.
hello, Gary. Gary.
Yeah.
You're supposed to leave today.
You said hello.
I don't know what you said. You were muffled.
Oh, yeah, I was gagged.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, I'm gonna turn this pewter around a little bit. Okay.
So,
Keep your fingers crossed you didn't do that.
right, because they're
For
cutting it.
counseling.
I know, I'm trying to schedule my other shoulder as well, but they said all of his surgeries are canceled.
I could have 113 that did it with COVID.
They canceled all surgeries from January 1 to January 14th, and then on the 14th, they reduced each caseload from 10 days.
How many of those are on respirators?
Oh, yeah, forgot that. Yeah.
So I just, if it does. Right, and you're talking to. Well, I mean, I'll ask my wife if I can offer. Oh.
No, I didn't.
I mean, do you write a check like every month?
I was out of town. Nice to meet you. Yes, yes. Yeah, I know. The cops are fast. Oh, okay. So, Don, can I help you with this?
You know, it's interesting. That would be my guess. You're a star for that. Yes, sir. Well, they've got to be. You're in my office.
Flash drive. Yes.
Let's see. Here we go. It'll be right here. And
That works.
yeah, and it should come
How
up.
it all works with the Zoom and all that, combined, I'm sure.
Yeah, probably
I
is.
assume, does it just show up on the screen?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. When we do it, we'll share it, and you'll be able to.
Okay, that makes sense.
We'll just turn this around and use the buttons here for dancing
Perfect, okay.
rather than having a remote. We'll be right
that's
here. So.
fine.
Remote finger.
Yeah, a little remote thing.
What was your name?
Hannah. I don't know if we're doing handshakes or not.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Whatever,
okay.
Whatever.
Hannah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. You got Okay, I'm glad everybody's here. It was a little sketchy this morning, but awesome. Everybody's here, so I'm going to start the meeting. Here's the meeting start, and come to order. Flag is over
Our
here.
flag's over here. Would you all join me in the pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it
For which it
stands,
stands, one nation, under God,
indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
Awesome.
four-way test. Is it the truth?
Truth. Better friendships.
Four.
Concern.
Yeah.
Is it fun? Bacon.
There you go.
Awesome. Awesome.
Eileen, do you have some words of wisdom for us this morning?
I think Eileen might. Is she here?
I do.
Awesome.
Today's quote of the week is, individually we are a drop, but together we are an ocean.
Nice.
Very nice.
And some of us are babbling brooks. Anyhow, so we have any guests out here? I know we have Hannah, who's our speaker, is over here. Thank you for being here today. Yes, any other guests out here? We have a guest in the back. Debbie, hi Debbie. Yeah, well, kind of a, yeah, honor, yeah, okay. Awesome. Okay, so we have some birthdays this week. We have, I don't see him here, Brian Ruiz, his birthday was January 2nd. And then we have a bunch of ones coming up. Don Steinrich and Jim Steinrich's birthdays are pretty close together. And then there's a couple others coming down towards the end of the month. Anybody, let's see who's on there. We got Angie and Sam and Kendra, Eileen and Gary and Jackie I's phone. Okay. Anniversaries, we have Lance Morehouse.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, stop.
It says January 1/7.
Wedding anniversary.
Yeah.
I'm not yet there. How many years?
It says 7.
All right.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, that's cool. Woo. And then we have a couple others will be next week. Will be Angie and myself will be like in a week or so. And then Jim Hagan will be next week with 33. Can you believe this? I didn't know he was that old, and it looks like he left the building. Did he go somewhere? I don't know. So we have a couple of announcements here, a couple changes. We have, so since our Madam President is down in Louisiana having catfish and whatever you have down there, I have some things that she wanted me to say. So she wanted to thank everybody who volunteered for the Santa shop in support of Chambers Lights of Lake Stevens on December 18th. We served over 100 excited kids. We gave out stuffed elves, candy, and candy canes, and had a lot of fun and a good time. So that was probably well worth it. That's cool. We like Santa Claus. And the MLK Inspirational Breakfast Meeting, we've all heard of this. So some have paid, and they're hoping that's going to be a donation because they're doing it virtual now, so we can all come here Friday. I believe it's the 14th from 7 to 9, and if you have to leave, I guess you leave. But so get here early. I think we'll put some announcements out about. I think that's next Friday. Would be.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Thanks. Thank you, Lord.
You're welcome. I'll keep you honest.
I know it. Good. Anyhow, so and then back to on a sad note, as many of us know that I guess Greg Eaglestead unexpectedly passed away. And his celebration of life will be January 15th, 5 p.m. at the Machias Meadows on OK Mill Road. All are invited to the Eaglestead family and as representatives of the Rotary or whatever. So that's the announcements there. And let's see what's next. So we had that. So I guess we're into officers' reports. So I have Lori, the treasurer.
There's some money at the last of the year. So every year we have the earnings from the whole endowment that needs to be used before December 31st. So on December 28th, checks went out to for the playground walkway and for 3 sets of bleachers at the skate park.
That's awesome.
Good job.
That's great. And then we'll just, I guess, eventually have a party to put it all together. Awesome. Okay, so Gary, do you have a secretary's report?
I do. The next board meeting is on Thursday, January 13th. And then dues invoices were sent out yesterday. It took me only about 3 days to try and get these out because of the way Club Runner is set up. I had a lot of problems with trying to get the email invoices out, so they're out. And as a follow-up to what Chris said, we're going to have to be at the club at the meeting next week early because the program will start at 7 o'clock and it will conclude at 9. So as many of you that can get there early, please do so. And we can, that will be our entire program. There won't be any reports. It'll simply be the MLK celebration through the YMCA. And if you want to have a little bit of fun, go on our website. I had a little difficulty trying to figure out what to write this past couple of weeks for our website article, because typically it's whatever the program was. Well, I asked a few of our members to give a comment of why they joined Rotary. And there's about 7 or 8 of us that have made a comment on there. And so go on and take a look at it if you haven't already, and just see what your fellow club members are saying about why they joined Rotary. That's it.
Okay, thanks, Gary. Appreciate that. So my report as president-elect is I've been taking a lot of classes and learning a little bit more about everything. And we're going to have a great year. We want to kind of extend what we've been doing. We've got the, I guess it's Rotarians in action on Tuesday nights. That's awesome. I went there last Tuesday and it was full of vibrant ideas and things getting done and all that. And those two people are here. So do you want to talk about some of that, Amy?
We gave pilots an action item to compose an email to reach out to nonprofits and other worthy groups that fit the 4-way test to let them know we are Rotary in Action. We are here to help. We want to support with our time and talent and our bodies. And we just want to, instead of us kind of thinking of how we can help, we want to ask the programs how we can help them. In addition to the Martin Luther King Inspirational Breakfast, we're going to have a follow-up action day on Martin Luther King Day, which is Monday the 17th. It's typically a day off, but we want it to be a day on. And so there is a Facebook event, and I believe Eileen did share it to Rotary. So we're going to do a community cleanup and beautification of North Everett with the support of their city council, hopefully, and whatnot. So it's going to be cleaning up the parking lots, some sidewalks, and a portion of the interurban trail as well. So everyone of every age and ability and families are more than welcome to come join in the fun on Martin Luther King Day.
Awesome. That's great. You guys are rocking it. It's just incredible.
And now we're just working on, we're discussing some other activities such as like indoors, whether it's getting over it. It's predictable right now. We're trying to, we have benches that are in the road right now. So we're gonna time when it's warmer out, possibly. If not, then we'll try to get a group of people to get together, help put that together. It'll more like put together on site because it can be fun. And then we're working on finding a date to set up the finishing of the York Swim Beach to actually put some stamp, beautify that and make it ready for the spring.
Cool. Awesome.
You guys did a great job chucking food pickup. I think you're going to support Christmas.
I think it was your suit.
Huh?
Your suit.
Yeah, I wore my fancy
That's cool.
fancy reindeer on my with me.
Who would say no to that?
Yeah. Awesome. Mr. Santa Claus. All right. So that is fantastic. So like I said, I'm still taking a lot of training classes and things of that sort. I think Gary brought up the question about the why. Why do people join Rotary? And why do we do it? And are we having fun? And how can we leverage the foundation to double back our money and help the community out? So that's what we want to kind of be thinking about. That's something I learned just last night about the why. Why do people join Rotary? Because it's fellowship and we get things done and we have some fun and stuff like that. So we want to continue that and put people to work. So anyhow, Don, do you have anything for club services?
Nope. I think everything's working. So.
Okay. I appreciate this whole technological advancement you're doing. That's good. And then community service, I don't think Brian's here. So there's that going forward. I think Lori kind of touched on some of that stuff right there that we'll get together and put those things together. Bleachers and decals for the Highland Elementary School up there. And Jim Hagan, how's the coffee going?
Well, they have a new machine, and Amelia is the one that's been doing this, so.
Okay.
I don't think it's very hot. The first one's cold, I put it in the microwave. I think the next one.
You can get cold coffee at Starbucks. Yeah, okay, good.
It's lukewarm, yeah, whatever, right?
How about foundation?
The foundation, yeah, the foundation's doing great. So for the Lake Stevens Charitable Foundation, this is our club foundation that we all contribute to with our fines and stuff like that. Heavy bucks. Part of that is the Lauren Hole Endowment. And we had $12,000 to spend this year from the proceeds. And we spent some of that money recently. And like Kyle was saying, we spent $4,500 for a playground structures that, they're kind of artwork. I'll pass this around, and this is gonna be an 80-foot path of the pieces that, kind of small, but you gotta get a visual of what it's gonna look like. There's the Hornet, which is the mascot for Highland School. This is gonna go for the Highland School where we did the, playground. And so this is an addition to this. This is a hands-on thing. So if everyone can make, how many people can help on the week of April 3rd at spring break, we're going to put this, we have to torch it down. You get torched down, so it's gonna be a permanent, it's gonna be really cool. It's gonna be really cool. But we're gonna spend the week at spring break installing this at Highland School. So that's the plan. So there's $4,500 of our, the Lord Hope Fund.
Is
And
it
then-
other attendance? This is depending on, it does have to be dry. If it was raining, you wouldn't be able to do it.
Well, you could, you could, I mean, it's, rains would be bad, but, it can't be freezing. That's the only requirement. You have to have enough heat to be able to do it.
The blowtorch will evaporate water pretty quick.
Right.
As long as it's not pouring down.
And we could pop ups around the areas that we're working and stuff like that. We'll have to get this all figured out. We've got a lot of time to figure it out. We got 3 months.
Plus a whole week. to
Plus the whole
work
week to
in
do it.
between.
We were thinking about trying to do it on the weekend and squeeze it all in, but this works out perfect. The kids are gonna come back from school, they're gonna see this, they're gonna freak out. It's gonna be really cool. It's gonna be a pretty neat little thing. And I just imagine every school after that's gonna come knocking on our door wanting to have one for their school too. So, so there was $5,000, and then we spent another $4,000, we'll find us about the bleachers, so that's what we got. One of the things that, was mentioned in conversations on social media is that there's no place to sit at the skate park to watch the skaters and stuff like that. So, club bought 15-foot, 3-level bleachers, and they're gonna be installed over there. So they're ordered, they arrived a few days ago at the workshop in Monroe, and we'll have to coordinate a time and all that to get that organized. And we said, well, maybe we offered that we could gather to help install them, or put them together anyway. They'll hold them in place and get them installed. We'll try to work out something that we all can join up and help out with. The foundation, our Rotary International Foundation, we did make some contributions where the $50 and stuff payments that the club made and any other contributions to the foundation. We sent that in. Most people probably got a little letter, like, getting for your contributions and stuff like that from Rotary International for your taxes. But as a club, we put in $4,100 the last week, a week ago. $2,300 of it was for the people that opted to do the match. So they're going to get matched for another $2,300. So that's really cool. So that a lot of it was that. So around $2,000 the club put in, and then the actual club put in $1,000 for the golf fund, for the annual fund, and then they put in, the club puts in $1,000 for Polio Plus. So we're well on our way, and the due statements just went out again. If you put the extra $50 in this time around, and everyone's got the $100, and we've already, I think we already hit our goal.
Jim, so the extra $50, you mean on top of what we typically do?
No,
Okay, so the dues plus 50.
yeah, everyone does that, keeps rolling on that. We're killing it. And this amount that's, that little thing where they're trying to do the match and the fundraising thing. But I turned in my statement on this thing. He put all of our money into that thing for our contributions. So we ended up putting in $6,100 total for the foundation. we're second in the district in the city for that whole thing, so that's pretty cool.
That's
So
pretty
that's my
cool.
report.
It's one of the most important things in Rotary you can do with your money, is get to have some money back.
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, one thing, you correct me if I'm not going down the right path. But the Rotary International Endowment, they want to build that to like $1 billion by like 2024, 25. I don't know where we're at on that. Must be pretty close because it's not too far away. One thing is, you know, as an endowment, it stays principal forever, or the principal gets donated, donors donate into that, but the interest gets put into the annual, which gets divided and comes back to the club. But the most important thing is when we donate, we have to reach a certain margin. And then that way, when we apply for grants, we get money back. And if you don't meet that bogey, then I don't think you get the grant money back or matching grant funds, if I'm getting that right.
Right, and
Okay.
there's no level, it's just that if you don't donate to the foundation, it comes back to us, then I get the, you know, the
Yeah.
people that are looking at the grants are gonna go, yeah, maybe not.
Yeah,
And
right, okay.
maybe This
Yeah.
club is really knocking it out, so we'll do everything.
And we are.
Yeah.
And back to Scott's
So,
point
yeah,
too,
so
yeah.
we
We
need to
are,
come up with another grant thing to work on.
yeah. We're rocking it, so that's really great. It's a lot of leverage, so we want to, like, you know, you got school down in wherever that place is, Guatemala,
Yeah.
things like that, and that can be leveraged into grant money and grant rights. I don't know how many grants you can write in a year, but the amount is endless. Anyhow,
But, you know, everyone in this club has done a great job of helping out.
Is there a number of grants limit?
Um,
One at a
I mean,
time or?
no, I think you do, it depends, you know, what money's available and how they want to pitch them out. But there is only so much money. But there's usually about $400,000 that comes back to the district. Half of it goes to the district grants and half of it goes to international grants.
so something to think about. Speaking of that,
International,
yeah.
yes. So speaking of grants, the IPA foundations, we have a ton of projects ready to go. IPA provides the money, they just need a club to apply for the grant, and then IPA takes care of everything. So I would love to volunteer our club to be one of the clubs that does the grant, so that we can duplicate that money. And again, it's all money from IPA, it's not money from the club, but a lot of us give to the IPA. So, and IPA is International Project Alliance. It's a group of Rotary clubs that in this area, LaConner, Bellingham, Hidalgo, Lake Stevens, I think we're the farthest south. But we get together and then there's all these projects in Guatemala. They're planning a trip in March if anybody wants to go. And part of this is Adopt a Dream students. So those of us who've adopted a student, your bill has been emailed to you, to 3-year commitment. I think this is our 3rd year. So just make sure to keep on top of that. Adopt a Dream students, so you can donate $180 for a grade school child, $280 for a high school student, and it gets them all their supplies. It helps buy their teacher, pay their teacher, buy their teacher, their uniform, books. There was lots of flooding a few years last year. Was it last year? The year before? They lost a couple libraries, so trying to replace those books as well. But other than that, I have nothing else for international.
Okay, great.
Just throw a couple things in there real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
So.
Thank you, Tracy.
Do it, part of the foundation, if, you know, when you do your donations and you get to certain levels, you get Paul Harris at 1,000, then each 1,000. After that, you reach another level, and hopefully just keep on going. So I like to present a foundation pen for the next level of G for Lori Westover.
Once you get to the next level, then you get a little colored stone.
Yeah, a little more stones, you know.
Okay, I'll try to get there.
So So this is another one that we have, and this is Paul Harris plus 4 stones on it, so this is $5,000 contribution total, and this goes. Thank you much for that.
Those are like little teeth. All right, awesome, thanks. One thing about a project or grant, it has to be hands-on by Rotarians, so that's just something to keep in your head. And then Ron, membership,
Not least,
what? Oh,
membership's good, number of them staying consistent, you can, there's people still, if they know acquaintances or friends, but the meeting. I'm looking at those, wide zoning, road statements, and probably use those as a tool.
yeah,
Maybe do a social media blast on that.
that's very good idea there, yeah. Okay, awesome, and then Lance, we have vocational services.
So just a couple of things, we've been talking about the youth protection policy. There is a training around protecting youth in our Rotary activities. So I think I'm on the second or third module. I'm gonna go through the whole training to see how long it takes, you know, what the content looks like. So it might be something that we ask the whole club to contribute or take part of. Our goal under Rochelle is that we want everyone to go through background checks in our club to be able to work with you in any way, shape, or form that we might choose as a club. And this training is a part of the requirement from the district and Rotary International. So stay tuned on that. And then on the scholarships, I will update our timeline for the upcoming year and get started on the process of putting together our guidelines and getting our scholarships out.
Excellent. Great, thank you very much for stepping up to the youth protection thing and getting us all wired in for that. And then I don't think Interact, Kristen Odegaard is here. Okay, and then Scouts, everything seems to be going pretty well there, so they're all re-registered and moving forward and having a good time. And we do want to try and get them to come here and do a little presentation at some point. We just have to get a day off from school or whatever that is. So anyhow, and then public relations with Eileen.
Good morning. I have posted the cleanup event on our Facebook page. Thank you, Amy, for getting that to me. And we are going to, the quotes from the folks that have been put on the webpage, we're going to start a series on Facebook, so that'll be moved over. And then if anybody else has events or ideas or interesting information in regards to Rotary, please send it my way. Yeah, that's what I got.
Awesome, thanks Eileen. And IT, Chris Martin's not here today, so we don't have that. And then now we have Sergeant at Arms, Scott, and I kind of forgot something. We didn't sing for the birthday. So anyhow, go ahead, take it away, Scott.
Okay, so I've done this for a while. I think I remember how to find people.
I guess Brian's not here, so yeah.
Did you take a ticket, read the last 3 numbers?
Sure, let's see, 043.
043. Bingo. Well, the first one I'm gonna find too, use the last one, and I don't know how that works. We have $110 in the pot and a bunch of ducks. Oh. Okay, let's see here, so I guess that'll pay for being the last one in. I want to find Chris, you know, start out right. He started the meeting late, didn't leave me enough time to raise money.
He's not here right now. What am I doing?
I'm finding you. We
Okay.
started the meeting late.
I know, but you gotta get the other can for that.
Oh, well, this one?
No, the one over there.
Oh,
Is it even here?
no.
Okay, that's fine. Okay.
This is how we're doing it
Okay,
here.
I'm putting $5 in.
Okay.
All my fines.
Okay, there you go.
let's see, we'll just make this simple after that. Everybody have their pins and badges?
Yes.
Good, good, okay.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
of course, it's Blue Friday, so. It's the last one. Seahawks 4 weeks ago. Wilson won.
I owe you two.
Okay, I'll put in Tracy. Anybody else have Seahawks? Well, you want to put in 5, but.
I'll turn down this money.
No.
This is for my dad.
Okay, yeah, I'm not gonna fine you for taking away my fining time. Happy Bucks. Who wants to start out in Happy Bucks?
I will.
Okay,
I'm happy that we got to come in person. I'm glad that Joyce was able to come with me.
okay.
I'm particularly glad when I could get out of the house after 2 months. It's good to be here.
We're glad to see you, Joyce. I'll throw in $1 for Joyce.
There's a 5 for Joyce. Good to see you, Joyce. Yeah, I'll match that. 5 for Joyce.
You're a big fundraiser.
Yeah.
So there's 5 for Joyce, 5 for Great Club, and 5 for Sunny Skies, Warm Surf. Wow. Take it up Monday.
Give me 5 minutes to Joyce. Joyce, great to see you. And then a couple, I gotta leave here early, so I apologize to speaker. I gotta go run with our new firefighters.
Cool.
Couple happy bucks, so I just got back last night, have a week to Michigan, visiting with the family, and it's really, really nice. So, a lot of, laughter and memories, and then, of course, when I last was there, I don't know if you saw on social media, that somebody decided to pick up my ceramic flower pot from my store and throw it in my front door.
Whoa.
So, but it turned out not too bad, so there's a happy buck, because it's the condo association's responsibility as an outer door instead of mine. So I don't have to turn it into my insurance agent.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, photos of the person that did it.
Oh, yeah, well, somebody, is walking by in the middle of the night or early morning. There's not enough cameras to capture everything. Just a ridiculous mess.
Terrible.
I'll do the 5 because it's good to see everybody, especially Joyce. And then I've got a couple other dollars because the snow is almost gone out in the wilds there. And so I don't have to put the car in snow mode, but evidently I need to put it in boat mode because there's a lot of
I have a friend that lives in Chehalis and he had to stay in a motel last night. Like, really.
Here's some happy dollars. Happy to be here. Happy, we're heading east from Austin next week. Little place where they say it's snow out. And it's kind of snow.
I'm here all year, especially Joyce, and I'm really happy that my family,
I'll ask, yeah, good.
Okay, I'm gonna throw $10 for the happy dollars since I'm not here as much as I should be.
All right.
Okay,
Thanks, Scott.
back to you.
Yeah, I didn't see the masked bandit back there, but I see him there now.
Came in late, I apologize.
It's okay. Wasn't sure who that was. Till I heard you laugh. Anyhow, Don, do you want to talk about the boat parade or how that went down or?
Well, sure. And, by the way, we're gonna do this again next year. It's gonna be a lot more organized, maybe a little earlier. But, yeah, it was interesting. It was herding cats. By trying to steer everybody to the notary, email, so we just get emails going. It was communication in all forms coming through, and nobody was committal because of the weather. And it was just one of those things where, hey, we'll go out there with our 12-foot tall snowman.
That's cool.
The only one on the lake, so be it. There's about 12, that showed up, including both growing clubs, which was really cool. The Lake Stevens Club, actually, for the 4 contenders. And then the North Cascades Cruise Club were out on a couple of their shelves, little lights. So I was really happy about that. And then, some few folks that noticed that. So it went well.
Awesome. That sounds pretty cool. I saw a couple of pictures that somebody posted out there. Looked pretty neat. Big Santa, a big snowman and all that. Looked like a lot of fun. Okay, so we have our program today by a gal named Hannah, and Gary's going to introduce her.
Before I do that, would somebody get a picture of Jim presenting the pin to Lori so we can put that on our webpage?
Yeah, we're gonna do that, we'll do that.
Just get a picture and then send it to me.
Okay.
I'm doing this for Kendra. Her cell phone mic is not working, so we're going to have to get her to buy a new cell phone. And just kidding, Kendra. She's on the line. She can hear this, I think. Anyway, Hannah McDuck is a community engagement liaison with BloodWorks Northwest. She has worked at BloodWorks for the past 7.5 years, with the first 2 years as being and I really had to go through this word, a phlebotomist, and I probably just misrepresented that. She works closely with the community of Whatcom, Skagit, Island, and Snohomish County in order to help raise awareness around the need for blood donors. If she is not at work, you can find her outside exploring all that the Pacific Northwest has to offer. Welcome, Hannah.
Thank you. So I'll switch this over to, I think I might be able to get it. I don't know. You might have a better luck than I am.
No problem. I'll put out. So we're ready to share screen?
Yes. Well, thank you, Gary, for that introduction. I appreciate it. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me. So as Gary said, I am a community engagement liaison from BloodWorks Northwest. We are the local blood center for all of Western Washington and down into Eugene, Oregon a little bit. So I have a lovely PowerPoint that I will share as we go through. Yeah, I can go ahead and
Those little
click
buttons
it.
there.
Great, thank you. Maybe. Oh, of course, I hit too far. So there's a quick agenda. Today, I'd like to kind of talk about the history of BloodWorks Northwest, the impact that it has on our region, and how you as Rotarians can help support our area. So it first started in 1944 as the King County Central Blood Bank. It was a group of 4 leaders down in Seattle that saw a need for blood donations on our area. They got together and they said, hey, let's come up with a blood bank for Seattle. So it there, and then it quickly expanded. And in 1946, we actually had our own building made in Seattle specifically for a blood center. And that is the building that still stands today down in on Terry Avenue, I believe, down in central Seattle. So we've grown a couple floors. If you've seen it before, we're very tall now down there. But it's kind of neat to know that we did start in 1944 as the Central Blood Center for Seattle, and it's kind of grown from there. So this is the region that we serve now. We serve all the way from Whatcom County, the Canadian border, down into Eugene, Oregon. We have 11 fixed sites, so 11 kind of brick and mortar buildings throughout the region. And then of course we operate blood drives across the region as well. This is just a quote from UW Medicine. It kind of explaining our partnership and saying without us, they would not have the blood that they need to treat their patients. So if you want to read it, feel free to. It's a lengthy one. But we do partner with about 90 local hospitals, and we support about 95% of the blood in this area. So every 2 seconds, somebody needs blood. Depending on who those people are, there's different products of blood that they might receive. So we can kind of get into the nitty gritty of blood donations. So a lot of times people think that trauma victims are the biggest amount of blood usage in our area. So maybe like a car accident or something of that sort. But in fact, it's actually cancer and leukemia patients that tend to receive the majority of blood transfusions. So when we say that there's a blood shortage,
it's not just the people that are going to be in an accident that are going to be affected. It's really those cancer and leukemia patients that have that biggest impact. I was speaking to Peace Health not too long ago up in Bellingham, and with the blood shortage, they were having to postpone some treatments for cancer and leukemia patients because we just don't have the blood on the shelf right now like we usually do. Of course, there's trauma victims, there's mothers. Hemorrhaging mothers is another leading cause of blood transfusions that tend to happen in the area. And then transplants, of course, organ transplants, surgeries, that kind of thing. So blood can actually be broken down into 3 main components. Amy, I'm sure you have a little bit of knowledge on this, but a lot of the times people think that you go and you donate a whole blood. Whole blood is what you see when you cut yourself and you're bleeding. But in fact, that blood actually gets kind of separated into different components, and depending on what the patient needs, they might receive one or multiple different components. So whole blood can be broken down into red cells, which are kind of the oxygen throughout your body. Those tend to go to trauma victims, people that are bleeding, that kind of thing. Red cells have a shelf life of 42 days. So a lot of times people don't realize that blood actually expires. That's kind of one of the reasons why we have this constant ongoing need for blood. You might hear us in the news quite often, especially lately, we're having a really hard time with it. But a lot of people don't realize that we can't just stockpile it on the shelves for years and years and years. It has an expiration date. So red cells are 42 days. Platelets have a shelf life of 5 days. So platelets are kind of the clotting factor in your body. When you cut yourself and you start to scab, that's your platelets at work. And only 5 days on the shelf, which is a really quick turnaround time. More likely than not, of course, we use it, but it's so hard to kind of keep that inventory high. And then there's plasma, which is kind of the liquid base to your blood. So this is a little picture of Isaac. He was a cancer survivor. Without the blood on the shelf, he wouldn't be here today. So it's kind of a cute little picture of him and his mom. And then we have a program called Thank the Donor. Essentially, when we send our units of blood to a hospital, they put a little tag on it, and the patients or family of the patients can say like a thank you note to the donor. And so that donor would specifically be thanked from that patient, which is kind of neat. You go donate blood, next thing you know, you're getting a thank you note from that person saying what you did saved my life, which is really cool. So this is one of the quotes that we had received. My son is receiving your blood right now. Thank you so much for this gift. It means more to us than I can possibly explain. I know he will go home today with more energy and pinker cheeks to continue on his journey to beat cancer. Thank you. So this is a little girl named Scout. I'm not sure if this video is gonna work. Sounds like you guys have good speakers set up though, so we'll see. I'm not sure. Nope, I don't think it will. Oh, maybe if we're lucky with technology today, it will.
My name is Scout, and I'm 5 years old.
We went to a farmer's market one weekend here, and we got Mexican food there, and we didn't know at the time, you can't taste it, but this Mexican restaurant's food had E. coli in it, and Scout just got progressively sicker and sicker. I just remember sleeping one night, and she had finally closed her eyes and gone to sleep, but she was talking in her sleep, and the only thing she would say in her sleep was owie, owie, wah. You just feel for this little fighter who's, you know, doing everything she can.
I've never realized that something so simple as food poisoning would create a need for blood. It could happen tomorrow. Maybe it won't be you or anyone you know, but it will be someone. So I make a point. Whenever they call me, I sign up and I go down there and I bring Scout with me. I want her to see what it is, what's happening. all these people that are, you're so generous.
And by and large, the blood that Scout actually used, the donors didn't know it was for Scout, that they helped keep a little girl alive.
So sorry for the tearjerker, but I like to show that story. Oh, 1 second, sorry. I like to show that story just to kind of touch point on what her mom said is it might not be you that needs the blood transfusion. It might not be your neighbor that needs it, but it's going to be somebody in the community. And if we all say, oh, I'm not going to do it, I'm too scared of needles, my friend will do it, and then they don't do it and somebody else doesn't do it, who's going to be the one to step up and do it? So it is a little scary, of course. Nobody wants to, sit there and be poked with a needle. But I always try to remind myself that this little girl doesn't want to be in there either. She doesn't want to be poked with needles. So the overall process is really simple, excuse me. It takes only about 10 minutes to donate, maybe about 5 to 10 minutes, depending on how well hydrated you are. The entire process only takes about 45 minutes. So it's a really quick, easy thing to do. You can do it twice or once every 56 days. So about every 2 months, you can come in and donate blood, whole blood. So let's move on to the next one. I don't know how to make it into a presentation. Oh, there we go. Found it. Awesome. Thank you. So kind of breaking down the reality of blood donors in our area, we need about 1,000 donors a day in order to keep our blood supply stable. It's great when we have that, but then things happen like snow and natural disasters and all that kind of stuff that might prohibit people from coming in. So it's been really hard lately. Our inventory the last couple of weeks have really taken a dip because of everything that's been going on. 10% of eligible donors give on a regular basis. So a lot of times you might come in and you might donate blood, check it off your to-do list, and you just don't think about it for another couple of years. One of the things that we're seeing is our donor base is slowly declining, which is what this the last pictures are inventory actually, but our donor base is also slowly declining. The amount of times that people come out to donate is slowly decreasing. So if you are a donor and it's been a little bit since you've donated, I'm strongly encouraging you to kind of step up this month and come in and make an appointment. So only 10% of eligible donors give regularly. And then as I was talking about, our generational trends have kind of changed over the years too. So one of the biggest things that we're seeing right now is we're having a really hard time working with our high schools and our colleges because of COVID. Pre-COVID, we'd have a blood drive, we'd go out to high schools, we'd have all these first-time donors, they're eager to get out of class, they come, they donate. So this is what this first little spike is those lovely 16, 17-year-old donors that are coming out to donate. And then they tend to drop off once they graduate high school, they get busy with college, and then they kind of come back maybe in their 30s, it dips down a little bit again, and then we tend to see another spike around the 50s or so. So some statistics on the side, we've just noticed that there's been a big decline overall in donations and the amount of people that are coming in to donate frequently. So call to action, how you guys can help. Of course, donate blood. I think that's pretty straightforward. It's really important. But if you're unable to, depending on your health, or if it's something that just you really don't feel comfortable doing, a couple other great ways are to just spread the word. If maybe you're part of another Rotary Club, or maybe you're part of the Chamber of Commerce or the school district, and try to get your family, friends, your coworkers involved, spread the word, let them know that there's a need. So every month, BloodWorks likes to highlight different partners throughout our region. And for the month of January, our featured partner is the Rotaries. So each district, we have a specific goal. So for District 50/50, we're really trying to have 50 people come out and donate blood through the month of January. The way that we can go about this is what we call a virtual blood drive. So as I said previously, we used to go out to sites, we used to have a blood drive, maybe we'd set up in this room, we'd come out and we'd invite the community, we'd invite the Rotary. We can't necessarily do that anymore. We can still do blood drives, but it's a lot of logistics that are going into it with COVID. I can kind of elaborate on that a little bit more, but one of the options is a virtual drive where we say, okay, we all can't congregate together. We can't get together as a group right now and do this. However, go and find a place to donate between now and the end of January. When you are asked at check-in what brought you in today, you would say Rotary District 50/50, and we'd be able to kind of keep track of your impact overall. So if you haven't donated in a little bit, if you're thinking about it, January is the time to do it. So your donation can kind of go towards the impact of the district. District 50/30 is doing it as well, and the other Rotaries down south, but specifically we're 50/50. So I had listed that on there. I think that sums it up. I'll open it up to any questions if you have any at the moment. Yeah,
Does blood type make any difference?
Yeah, so no matter what your blood type is we need it. There's no specific blood type that we're looking for. Our inventory is so low at the moment that we've never turned anyone away for your blood type, but O negative is the universal donor. So if you know that you're O negative, you can actually donate to anyone. They can receive your blood. You can only receive O negative back though. So it's one of those blood types. It's a very giving blood type, but you can only get one back. But no, whatever your blood type is, we'd love to have it. Any other questions? Has anyone here donated? Awesome, perfect. That's great. Yeah.
How often can you donate platelets?
Yeah, so platelets are once every 7 days. So platelets are quite the extensive donation. You end up sitting on something that's called an apheresis machine. I like to explain it like a dialysis machine. It doesn't clean your blood, but it takes it, it spins it, and it gives you back what you're not donating. So platelets would be collected, and then you'd get back your red cells and your plasma. Takes about 2 hours though, so it's a little bit lengthy, but a lot of the times people like to come in, use that time to catch up on their Netflix or whatever they're trying to get done for that week. But yeah, it's a great thing to donate, but it's crazy to think that you can do it once a week, and then by that time that you're coming back, it's already been used. But platelets are definitely a great thing to be able to donate. AB negative or AB positive, I want to say, something like that. I'm looking at you, Amy, maybe you have an idea, something like that, yeah. One of those AB groups.
And I might have missed it, but here in Lake Stevens, Ross, what's the closest site to donate?
Great question. Thank you for bringing that up. So one of our fixed sites is in Everett. That would be your closest fixed location. But we do have blood drives in the area. We're trying to ramp it up again. It's kind of a perfect storm at the moment. Why we haven't had blood drives quite as often. Our staffing is really low, just like everyone across the nation at the moment, specifically in the healthcare industry. So we just aren't able to go out to the community quite as often as we used to. But with that being said, we do have a blood drive coming up in Snohomish in February. And then I believe we're gonna be in Lake Stevens in March or April. So keep an eye out. The easiest way to find a place would be to go online to schedule .bloodworksnw.org or just our main website. And you can type in your zip code and see what might be most convenient for you. But that Everett site is always there and always open.
So in March and April, we were talking about, yes, our Rotary would love to help collect some blood. As you guys know, I'm a nurse and I worked in oncology, renal, med surg, and now labor and delivery. And there is no medication, no preventative treatment, honestly, and nothing that compares to saving lives with blood. We do not have blood. And where I am now, these new mamas that have literally delivered their babies in minutes who die. It's crazy, but it's amazing that blood turns them around. So it's wonderful. So I know there's a lot of logistics, like you were saying, with COVID and space issues. So can you fill us in on that? What's going on in March and April, and where, and how can we help, or how could we create another site and do this on a regular basis?
Yeah, so I'll back up a little bit to kind of how we operated pre-COVID to how we're operating now. As I quickly said, pre-COVID, we would have like 35 blood drives. I would help manage about 35 blood drives a month. So in my area, we'd have kind of a blood drive a day. With staffing now, our staffing and our resources are just so constrained that we just can't get out to the community like we used to be doing. What we are doing though is what we call a pop-up donor center, where we come out to the community, say we use this space hypothetically, And we set up for multiple days at a time. So instead of just coming in for one day and doing a blood drive specifically for the Rotary, we would do a blood drive for Lake Stevens community, and we would operate for about 4 or 5 days, leaving our equipment here, coming in the next day, kind of operating like a fixed site, so to say. So if you specifically as a Rotary are interested in helping, I have been working with the LDS Church in Lake Stevens, and they are on the schedule. We're kind of doing an alternating between Lake Stevens and Snohomish just to try to get as many donors as we can. But specifically for the Rotary, if you are interested in kind of coming together and taking over a day in Lake Stevens, maybe from noon to 3, it's this Rotary Club that's going to come together and fill those appointments there or something like that. That's an option. As I mentioned, the virtual blood drive is an option too. Right now we have this district event going on, but if you want to break it down to just a specific Lake Stevens Rotary virtual drive, you can do that as well. As far as space goes, I'm really hoping we can start ramping up our staffing and be able to come out a little bit further or a little bit more frequent. But for now, it's really just spreading the word, reaching out to the people that you might be involved with, and encouraging them to come donate when the time's near.
The most realistic option that is jumping on the LDS Church
Yep.
already and then
Yep.
doing our virtual drive, having this like kind of competition or whatnot. Of
Yep.
just stating we're here from Rotary and
Exactly.
how many are there and how many other people can we get to fill those appointments.
Yeah, and the good thing too is if you do this virtual drive with the Rotary in January, the district-wide event, then you can donate again when we come back in. I want to say it's April. I'll have to double check.
I think that's the one big thing.
Yeah, I know I had just confirmed the dates with the church a couple days ago. I think it's April, something like that. But yeah, so jumping on this virtual event, donating in January, mentioning that you're from District 5050, and then coming back around in April when you're eligible to donate again, potentially donating at the LDS site in Lake Stevens would be a huge help for us. Yeah.
So we've had you out a couple of times at Sherwood, and done some community drives. And I tried to donate, and because of travel, was not eligible. So can you talk a little bit about what makes a person not eligible?
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. So for the most part, if you're healthy and well, you can donate. Minimum age is 16 with the permission form. There's no upper age limit. Travel, I'll hit on travel. So travel comes down to malaria risk. So if you've gone somewhere that is a malaria risk country in the last, it really changes. It used to be a year and then we changed it because of COVID. So I think it's maybe, yeah, something like that. I'd have to look into it a little bit further. The FDA, of course, we're under the FDA, and so things have changed a little bit lately. But if you've traveled to, say, Mexico and you know that it was a malaria risk area, you would be deferred for about a year from the time that you got back. There's specific countries and a lot of legalities that go into it, though. So just because you go to Mexico doesn't mean that you get deferred. It just really depends on where and how long and how you got there. But for the most part, yeah, if you haven't traveled lately, if you've been staying here, you can donate. Of course, if you're sick, just like we wouldn't want you to be here, we don't want you to be in there donating blood. So any colds, coughs, fevers, that kind of thing, we ask you to wait until you're feeling better. I have ran into quite a few questions about blood pressure. So if you're taking blood pressure medications, as long as it's under control, you can donate. We do have a limit above 180 over 100. So if your blood pressure is higher than that, we would ask you not to donate for the day for your safety.
And go to the emergency room.
Yeah. 180 over 100 is a little high. So we'd be like, yeah, there's something going on. Please don't donate. Go see your doctor or something. So there's that. And then, of course, if you've had any heart complications or something of that sort in the last 6 months, we don't want you to donate either. Diabetics, if you're diabetic, as long as it's under control, it's okay. You can donate. If you're on any kind of blood thinners, we don't want you to donate because we want you to stop bleeding when you're done. But other than that, yeah, healthy and well, you're able to donate. And there is no requirement for vaccinated, unvaccinated as far as donors go. So. Tattoos, that's a great question too. As long as it was done in a licensed facility, so not in your friend's basement, somewhere professional in Washington, Oregon, California, or Idaho, you can donate. If it's been over a year since you say maybe you got a friend tattoo back in, I don't know, the 80s or something, like you can donate. It's fine. It's not a problem. It would just come down to the last year or so. Any other questions that I can help you with?
Will you follow up with us about how many donate this month for 50/50? Will you have that information?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yep. And then I can see where we donated to. So I can say, oh, look, there was 5 people who donated in Everett. I'm going to assume that's you guys, that kind of thing. So I can, and I have names and stuff too, if you really want to double check and see maybe if there's any members from here that donated. Yeah, at the end of the month, I can definitely update you with that. If you want additional information to share, maybe with coworkers or family, friends, I can always send over some information to Amy. I think I did at one point, maybe not. But I can send over kind of like an e-flyer or something like a flyer that you can share if you're interested in it. Yeah. Perfect. Well, oh yeah.
So if we wanted to go with a buddy or 2 or 3, is there like how many chairs are available like at the Everett one? If we went between in and out?
Yeah, so we do have about 4 or 5 chairs at the Everett Center. I would just encourage you to know that you're probably going to have to book out a couple weeks to find those 4 or 5 openings at the exact same time. So you could sign up, say, for noon and then call your friend, okay, I'm in for noon, sign up for 12:05, that kind of thing. I believe it's 1 appointment every about 5 minutes or so, give or take.
Your appointments are a couple weeks or months out. Like, don't be discouraged by it. Just put it on your calendar. And if you have to cancel, it's fine. Someone else will take that spot. Right? But
Yes. Yeah.
I was a little discouraged. I'm saying it's not until next month, but
yeah,
now it's on my schedule and I just keep cycling.
And that's a great point. That will be my final point to kind of make today too, is as I'm saying, where our inventory is really horrible at the moment. But if you go online and you make an appointment, don't be discouraged that you might be a week out or 2 weeks out or a month out. I know it looks deceiving. It's like, oh, they're in such a crisis, but I can't find an appointment for a month out. It really is just coming down to our staffing at the moment. Our hours have been reduced. Our days have been reduced. The amount of staff we have on site has been reduced. So from going from 60 appointments a day down to 30 appointments a day, it really hinders our ability to collect what we need. So it looks like we're really full, but we're not. Just book that appointment, stick to it. It is appointment only at the moment, so no walk-ins. You have to have an appointment and then you should be good to go. Sound good? All right. Well, thank you so much, you guys. I appreciate you having me.
So our club has a $25 donation for the Dolly Parton Imagination Library in your honor.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for being here today. Any other short questions? Seeing none, the meeting's over. Awesome. Thanks, everybody.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I forgot to mention that was the Puget Sound Blood Center. Yeah, we switched that over.
Nice job, Chris.
Well, thanks. Couldn't have done it without you.
Yeah. I do think that we need to get some microphones because it was very hard to listen to some of the folks.
Okay.
All right.
I guess it'd be wireless and you sit on, I guess.
Eileen brought that up as well.
Our club does that.
Yeah, I can see. I can't hear. All right.
So I just posted bird stuff.
Yeah. Hey, Don, is there a way that we can scan the room too?
Scan the room as like I have a motorized camera, you mean, or?
Yeah, or something like that, because basically what you're seeing is Chris in the front row.
Yeah. Well, the you know, the one approach that Rotary first had a couple approaches that they were recommending for these meetings. One of them involved just having 2 computers, so that you could have one that was looking at the audience and the other that was looking straight at the presenter. So that certainly is a possibility. Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm surprised I remembered. Thank you.
But Yeah, as far as having two cameras, I don't know. I guess I could research that and see if it can happen and if it could happen with our computer here. So
it was just a thought. I guess it's a little bit more for me because I'll be at next week's meeting, but when you're trying to figure out who's attending the meeting and such, it's a little more difficult.
Oh,
but it's also good to see who's in the audience too.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, the roving microphone thing, could make a lot of sense too. Yeah.
Can we get a wireless one that would work with the computer?
Oh, I'm sure you can. I had tried it. I actually have a wireless microphone, and hi Joyce. I tried it, and it didn't work with this computer for some reason. It doesn't want to accept other microphones. And it seemed to be, maybe the problem is that the camera has a microphone on it, and it maybe uses the only extra microphone channel, even though we have it shut off. I mean, there's all this kind of stuff. It's kind of frustrating, but maybe we'll let Chris have that one.
Yeah. Look, we can talk to Chris about it and see what he thinks.
Yeah.
All righty.
All right. Well.
All right. Thanks.
You bet. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Tracy.
No, that's a record.